Hello students, welcome back. In this chapter Mechanical Properties of Fluid, today we are going to start another topic which is angle of contact. When a liquid surface comes in contact with a solid surface, it forms a meniscus which can be either convex or concave. The angle of contact between a liquid and a solid surface is defined as the angle between the tangents drawn to the free surface of the liquid and surface of the solid at the point of contact measured within the liquid. So this is the definition of angle of contact. In these diagrams, which are given in your textbook, the first diagram in this first diagram, the angle of contact is acute. The liquid forms a concave meniscus at the point of contact. In second figure, the angle of contact is obtuse. It forms a convex meniscus. For example, water glass interface forms a concave meniscus and mercury glass interface forms a convex meniscus. This difference between the shapes of meniscus is due to the net effect of the cohesive forces between liquid molecules and adhesive forces between liquid and solid molecules as discussed. Now, if we discuss shape of meniscus, why we get different types of shape for different solid and liquid pair, that we are going to discuss now. The first case is concave meniscus, where there is acute angle of contact. As shown in this figure 2.19a, the acute angle of contact between a liquid surface, for example kerosene, in a glass bottle, we consider a molecule such as A, capital A, on the surface of the liquid near the wall of the container. The molecule experiences both cohesive as well as adhesive forces. In this case, since the wall is vertical, the net adhesive force, which is represented by vector AP, acting on molecule A, is horizontal. The net cohesive force, represented by vector AC, acting on molecule, is directed at nearly 45 degree to either of the surfaces. Magnitude of adhesive force is so large that the net force represented by vector AR is directed inside the solid. So in this diagram, vector AR is the resultant of cohesive force vector AC and adhesive force vector AP. For equilibrium or stability of a liquid surface, the net force AR, vector AR, acting on the molecule A must be normal to the liquid surface at all points. For the resultant force, vector AR, to be normal to the tangent, the liquid near the wall should pile up against the solid boundary so that the tangent AT, which is shown in this diagram, tangent AT to the liquid surface is perpendicular to AR. Thus, this makes the meniscus concave. Obviously, such liquid weights that solid surface. So the liquid which weights the solid, it has acute angle of contact. The second case we consider, which is convex meniscus, for which we have obtuse angle of contact, which is shown in this figure 2.19b. This figure shows the obtuse angle of contact between a liquid and a solid. For example, mercury in a glass bottle. Consider molecule A, capital A, on the surface of liquid near the wall of the container. The molecule experiences both cohesive as well as adhesive forces. In this case, the net adhesive force is represented by vector AP and is acting on molecule A in horizontal direction since the wall is vertical. Magnitude of cohesive force is so large that the net force represented by vector AR is directed inside the liquid as shown in figure. For equilibrium or stability of a liquid surface, the net force AR represented by vector AR acting on all molecules similar to molecule A must be normal to the liquid surface at all points. The liquid near the wall should therefore creep inside against the solid boundary. This makes the meniscus convex so that its tangent vector AT, or we can say just it's a tangent AT, is normal to AR. Obviously, such liquid does not weight that solid surface. So if you insert any solid in mercury, it will not weight it. So that is the second case for convex meniscus. The third case, if we consider zero angle of contact. For zero angle of contact and the fourth case angle of contact 90 degree, we consider these diagrams. First, in figure 2.19c, the angle of contact between a liquid, for example, highly pure water, which completely weights a solid, for example, clean glass surface. The angle of contact in this case is almost zero. In this case, the liquid molecules near the contact region are so less in number that the cohesive force is negligible. Hence, vector AC in this case is 0. The net adhesive force itself is the resultant force. Hence, vector AP is equal to vector AR. Therefore, the tangent AT is along the wall within the liquid and the angle of contact is 0. In next case, we consider a hypothetical liquid having angle of contact 90 degree with a given solid container. In this case, the net cohesive force vector AC is exactly at 45 degree with either of the surfaces, and the resultant force vector AR is exactly vertical along the solid surface. For this to occur, vector AP should be equal to vector AC divided by root 2. Where AR is the magnitude of the net force. From this, we can write the conditions for acute and obtuse angle of contact. For acute angle of contact, vector AP should be greater than AC divided by root 2. And for obtuse angle of contact, vector AP should be less than AC divided by root 2. So these are the conditions. Now we will discuss about the shape of liquid drops on a solid surface. For that, we consider this diagram. When a small amount of liquid is dropped on a plain solid surface, the liquid will either spread on the surface or will form droplets on the surface. Which phenomenon will occur depends on the surface tension of the liquid and the angle of contact between the liquid and the solid surface. The surface tension between the liquid and air, as well as that between solid and air, will also have to be taken into account. In this diagram, let theta be the angle of contact for the given solid liquid pair. Let T1 be the force due to surface tension at liquid solid surface or interface. Let T2 be the force due to surface tension at the air solid interface. Let T3 be the force due to surface tension at the air liquid interface. So these are the three considerations, T1, T2 and T3. As the force due to surface tension is tangential to the surfaces in contact, directions of T1, T2 and T3 are as shown in the figure 2.20. For equilibrium of the drop, we have to consider that T2 is equal to T1 plus T3 cos theta, and hence cos theta is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by T3, which is represented by equation 2.18 in your textbook. From this equation, we get the following cases, which is shown in this photograph taken from the textbook. If T2 is, in first case, if T2 is greater than T1 and T2 minus T1 is less than T3, then in that case cos theta is positive and the angle of contact theta is acute as shown in figure 2.28. Second case, if T2 is less than T1 and T1 minus T2 is less than T3, in that case cos theta is negative and the angle of contact theta will be obtuse as shown in figure B. Third case, if T2 minus T1 is equal to T3, then the value of cos theta will be 1 and theta is nearly equal to 0. And the last fourth case, if T2 minus T1 is greater than T3 or T2 is greater than T1 plus T3, in this case the value of cos theta will be greater than 1, which is impossible. The value of cos theta cannot be greater than 1, and hence the liquid spreads over the solid surface and drop will not be formed. So these are the four cases for the shape of liquid drop on the solid surface. Now we discuss the factors affecting the angle of contact. The value of angle of contact depends on the following factors. First is nature of liquid and the solid in contact. Second one is the impurity. Impurities present in the liquid change the angle of contact. Therefore, it also depends on impurity. Third one is the temperature of the liquid. Any increase in the temperature of a liquid decreases its angle of contact. For a given solid liquid surface, the angle of contact is constant at a given temperature. So these are the factors affecting the angle of contact. Now the surface tension of a liquid becomes zero at critical temperature. So this is one important factor. Now we consider the excess pressure across the free surface of liquid. We will discuss it in next lecture.